Hey guys, it's Aislinn, and in today's video, we are going to be trying 12 different semi-permanent black shades. We're going to compare what they look like next to each other, and then we are also going to try to remove them out of the hair. I have done this once before, and it was a very interesting experiment. Semi-permanent blacks are so fickle. They are most of the time not even black. They look brown or they look gray. They have crazy undertones. There's green and blue and purple, and there's brown undertones. And then when you try and lift all of that, you get the most insane results. Last time we did this, we got red, yellow, I think we even got green. Like, it was just crazy. But when I did that video, I did find 3 different semi-permanent black shades that came out of the hair very easily. It went right back to a platinum blonde. However, Ion decided to discontinue all 3 of those different semi-permanent black shades. So now I am back to square one, trying to find a really good semi-permanent black hair color that comes out of the hair really easily. Here we go, baby. Part 2. I bought 12 different hair dyes. Let's run through the 12 shades and start the process of swatching. You guys know I've been on an Adore kick lately, experimenting with their dyes. So I went ahead and I bought 4 different Adore shades. We have Black Velvet 120, 130 Blue Black, 121 Jet Black, 118 Off Black. Then we have Kiss Hair Colors, and this one is Jet Black T999. We have Punky Color Ebony. Underground Cosmetics. This one is in the shade Blackout. I love Underground Cosmetics. They are very quickly becoming my favorite hair dye. We have Pulp Riot Noir, Crazy Color Black and Natural Black. And then we have Splat Midnight Onyx as well as Splat Jet Black. I just opened these and I realized this one is not semi-permanent. This one is actually like a regular, I'm guessing it's permanent. It doesn't say if it's permanent or demi-permanent. I was like, I'm just gonna throw this one out, but no. I'm gonna swatch it for you guys anyway, even though it is permanent or demi-permanent. We're gonna swatch it anyway. I would not use that on my hair just because I'm looking for a semi-permanent hair color. However, I already purchased it, so I might as well swatch it for you guys. So in previous cases, blue blacks seem to come out of the hair easier than just a standard black color, which is perfect because I prefer a blue black anyway. So we do have a couple blue black colors here. We're gonna see if those ones come out a little bit easier. Here's to hoping we find our dupe for the Ion black colors. I am very doubtful because I have tried a few other black shades between then and now, and I've been disappointed by all of them. I might even pull out Color Oops today to see if Color Oops will work on any of them, but we're gonna have to wait and see. I just found 2 more shades, Manic Panic Black Panther and Manic Panic Raven. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these into the lineup. Manic Panic also does have a Love Color shade, which is their colored conditioners. You guys can see them right there on that top shelf there. They have a black shade in the Love Color. I've already done a video on that. So throughout this video, I will leave links up here on screen of videos where I do 1 or 2 black shades throughout a collection. So if you're curious about anything else I did not mention here, I'll casually leave links at the top of the screen where I'm using natural shades that have a black in it. I will also go ahead and leave a link to the first video I did with the black colors up here in case you guys want to go check that out. I cover a lot of different brands in that video, so I would recommend going and watching that and then coming back here to the part 2. All right, now that we've ran through all the different colors, let's go ahead and start swatching, baby. All right, here are the swatches. Let's go in with the first color, which is Crazy Color Natural Black. I'm making sure to shake each color really well before we apply it because blacks can definitely separate. They have a lot of pigment in there. You want to make sure to mix it up really well. All right, here we go. Okay, I see a very neutral brownish undertone for this one. Doesn't look too crazy. This is called Natural Black, and it definitely is appearing to be a more natural black shade. I see heavy brown undertones, so it definitely looks like a very natural shade, delivering what they promised. I used to use Crazy Colors all the time, and I actually really liked their dye, so I should probably grab up some more of those and start using them on myself. They have some really pretty neon shades. I do remember it was kind of hard to find them in stock though. As I'm working it into the hair, it's definitely looking more of like a chocolate shade. All right, moving on to Crazy Color Black. See how different this one is. Ooh, okay, I'm already seeing different undertones. Work that in. Oh yeah, this has a heavy blue undertone. I'm sure you guys can tell. The second it came out of the tube, I could tell it wasn't a super natural color. It's like a grayish blue-black color. Moving on to the Adore shades. The first one is Jet Black. There's that gel food coloring consistency. All right, let's see. Okay, I see some purple undertones in this, which I love. I either like a blue black or a purple toned black. Those are my two favorites. This looks very promising. It has really pretty undertones. If you have not seen my previous video of me swatching like a bunch of copper and natural brown Adore shades, definitely go watch it. They have some absolutely stunning copper and natural colors. However, when you go to lift them out of the hair, they do crazy things. If you use Color Oops, they lift like a neon orange and yellow. If you use lightener, they lift like a neon pink and red. So they're really pretty, but they seem to be a little difficult to get out of the hair. I did some further investigating for you guys, and I tried Color Oops and a bleach-based color remover, and that took quite a few of the shades out of the hair. So if you're struggling with some of the natural shades from Adore, try Color Oops and then a bleach-based color remover. Adore Off Black. I'm wondering if this one's going to be more brown toned because it's an off black color. Because the other Adore shades lifted odd, I am so curious on how these are going to lift out of the hair. I'm going to predict red and oranges, like peaches and maybe some neon red. I guess Adore seems to have that theme going whenever you lean towards natural colors. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this one doesn't look that different than the other one. They look very, very similar, so I am very eager to see what these two will look like compared to each other once the color is rinsed off the hair. Because right now, the undertones look pretty identical. This shade might be a tad bit lighter, but the undertones pretty much the same. Next up is Adore Blue Black. I am really excited about this one. Okay, let's see. Oh, wow. This is not what I was expecting at all. Obviously, I was thinking blue black, but this is like a straight midnight blue color. Do you guys see that? Oh, this shade is very, very pretty. I will say this consistency is a little bit more watery than the other Adore shades that are more like a gel food coloring. This one was like pretty much just water. Adore colors absorb into the hair very, very easily because the consistency is like a shine-based hair color. It's like a gel consistency or like a little bit more liquidy, so it does absorb very quickly into the hair, and you definitely don't need as much color as you would if you were using a conditioning based dye, but it does make the application a little bit more messy. I cannot wait to see this one. I already know it's going to be stunning. The last Adore shade, Black Velvet. All right. Okay, this one looks like the most promising undertones, I feel like. It's got like a grayish blue undertone to it. This one is also very watery like the blue black one was. I like the undertones of this though. It's definitely like a grayish light blue undertone. I don't mean light blue like a pastel blue. I mean like a little hint of blue in there. I gotta change my camera battery out real quick and I will be right back. We're back. Sorry if the camera angle is a little bit different. Next up is Kiss Jet Black. Ooh, this one is, ooh, really, really runny. No. Oh my gosh, this one's just like water basically. Super heavy purple undertone, and it is basically just like water. Oh, this smell. Oh my gosh, the smell of this dye takes me back to 2021, 2022. Oh my gosh. It's such a nostalgic smell for me. Kind of love it. I wish I could teleport back there. Much better times in my life. This one definitely has purple undertones. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is straight purple. Next up is Punky Color Ebony. I can already tell this one has green undertones from the lid. I'm a little nervous about this one. You guys see that lid? Ugh, looks like swamp water. Oh yeah, this one is so heavy in the green undertone department. You know what this color reminds me of? There is this girl who pops up on my For You page on TikTok every once in a while, and she dyes her hair like a jet black with like a green undertone. It's barely noticeable, but like this is what her hair looks like, which I mean, I love that for her. It's a very unique black green shade. This color looks just like her hair. I feel like when we rinse this off, you're not going to be able to see those green undertones as much. I love the smell of Punky Color too. It smells so good. This is our first super conditioning based dye we've done so far. Next up, one of my favorite brands, Underground Cosmetics, Blackout. This one does look a little bit more pastel and sheer. It looks more like a gray, like a really dark gray shade. We'll see what it looks like when it's rinsed off, but it does look more like a gray color. I love Underground Cosmetics. They do come out of the hair very, very easily. That's part of the reason why I love them so much. Their color just washes out so beautifully, and all the colors I've used have faded right back to a platinum blonde color. I like to change my hair a lot, so it's nice to know I can reach for underground cosmetics and they're not going to stain my hair and stick around for a super long time. I like that I know I can get them out of my hair very, very easily. You guys can see this is just like a dark gray color. It's still really pretty though. I kind of see some greenish undertones though, so I'm a little nervous about that. Next is Pulp Riot. Here we go. I don't think I have used this before, which is pretty interesting because it's been around for quite a while. Ooh, this one looks extremely promising. This has a very, very, very heavy purple undertone. This is the most purple undertone we have seen so far. I really, really like this one, and the depth of the color is insane. This is like a very, very pitch black, straight up like midnight, beautiful violet based black. This one is definitely my favorite we've seen so far, and it also has the most pigment behind it. It is so pitch black compared to some of the other shades. It's very, very impressive. Next up is Manic Panic Raven. This one is the amplified version, so it does contain 30% more pigment than the standard Manic Panic shade. If you get the regular Manic Panic Raven, it's not going to be as pigmented. It contains 30% less. So if you ever like a Manic Panic color but you want it to stick around more or maybe have a little bit more pigment, get the amplified version. All right, let's go in with this one. Let's see what this looks like. This looks very similar to the last shade. Oh my gosh, this looks almost identical to that Pulp Riot color. I used this shade when I was in high school and it faded to like a beautiful silvery gray shade that had a purple undertone to it. I absolutely loved the way this color faded on my hair when I used it when I was like 17. That's the other thing. If you aren't gonna remove these semi-permanent black shades, definitely choose what color you use based on the undertone, because if you're just gonna let it fade out naturally, this one's gonna fade to purple. If you choose one that has a green undertone, it's gonna fade out to green. If you choose blue, it's gonna fade out to blue. So if you're not gonna remove it and you're just gonna let it fade out on its own, I would definitely be conscious of the undertone because that's most likely what it's going to fade out to. This one is very, very similar to Pulp Riot's. Next up is Manic Panic Blue Panther, and I have swatched this before when they released their supernatural shades. Again, this one is amplified, so let's go ahead and see what this one looks like. Here we go. Ooh, this is very, very pretty. It looks similar to the Adore Blue Black. This one is a little bit different though. It almost has like an indigo undertone instead of just straight blue. The Adore one was like a very, very heavy blue. This one almost looks like an indigo blue. It's so pretty. I definitely see like purple and blue mixed undertones in this one, which will probably make it fade out a little bit prettier than the Adore one will. Moving on to Splat. This one's Midnight Onyx. Okay, let's see what this looks like. Ooh, this one's super unique. This is like a denim. This one reminds me of Blue Jean Baby, but this has so much pigment behind it. This is extremely black and dark, but the undertones are like a smoky blue. It's not like a straight blue. It's like, oh, it's like a denim blue, like a super, super deep denim. It does really remind me of Blue Jean Baby with the undertones in this one from Arctic Fox. It's like a black version of Blue Jean Baby. And I'll tell you what, Blue Jean Baby comes out of the hair with no issues at all. And this one definitely smells the best out of all the ones we've tried before. This one and the Kiss one smells the best. I've noticed with semi-permanent color, if you're adding a lot of pigment like black into the conditioning base, it tends to skew the smell and it can get a little funky. Like things can start smelling weird when you add a lot of the pigment into the conditioner. Some of the other ones smelled a little bit funky, but this one smells really nice. Let me mix up this. It comes with a developer bottle and it also comes with a pack like this of the color. So I'm gonna dump this in here, mix it up, and then we will apply this on the swatch. All right, let's go in with the black color. Just gonna glob this on there. Obviously this one has to oxidize, so we're not gonna be able to see what the undertones look like until after it's developed. And because this is demi or permanent, you should be filling the hair. So you should fill the hair every 2 levels. If this is a level 10 and we're going to a level 1, then you would need to fill the hair at a level 8, 6, 4, 2, you know what I mean? You need to fill the hair at all those different levels so that way you're putting the undertones that are missing back into the hair. Now, do I do that? Not very often because I know that I'm not going to want to keep a black color. I would say if you're wanting to go darker and stay darker, then it's important to fill the hair. But for me, I switched between black and blonde, and I don't want all those underlying pigments to come back through when I lift the black out of the hair. It makes it a lot easier to lift it out of the hair if you're not dyeing the hair several times in between going from blonde to black. You guys can see it starting to oxidize. I accidentally got some on my thumb, and you can see my thumb is now black, so that's exciting. I'm gonna gonna let these process. I will be right back to show you guys the finished results, and then we will try to remove them out of the hair. We are back. Let me go ahead and show you guys the results. All right, here is what they look like. Let's go ahead and run through each shade so we can really dissect the undertones. The first one is that crazy color natural black. This one is definitely a natural color. It has some pretty heavy greenish undertones. I will show you guys on my phone too, but it's not like a brownish black like I thought it would be. It definitely has some greeny undertones to it. Then we have crazy color black, and this one is really pretty. It is a true jet black shade. I don't see any weird undertones. It is just a very, very nice pitch black color. You guys can see those two next to each other. Then we have Adore jet black, and this one is actually even darker than the crazy color one. So there's those three next to each other. This one is definitely the most true pitch black out of all of them so far. Then we have Off Black from Adore. This one really doesn't look any different from the jet black. The jet black and the off black look pretty much the exact same. Then we have Blue Black, and this one was kind of disappointing. I see no really blue undertones in this. Obviously, when you fade this, it is going to go a little bit more blue, but right off the bat, I really don't see a ton of blue poking through. It is more of just like a super, super dark black. Once it fades, I'm sure those blue undertones will come through a little bit more. If you look really closely, you can see it, and I feel like in the sunlight, you probably would be able to see a little bit of those bluish undertones, but it's really not that noticeable. The Black Velvet from Adore honestly looks exactly the same as the jet black and the off black. These three all look the exact same. Then we have Kiss Jet Black. You guys can see this one almost looks like an off black to me. It's not the darkest of the bunch. I don't know if you guys can see next to the other ones. This one is more of like a natural off black color. You guys can see it almost has like a brownish hue compared to like the Adore black ones. Then we have Punky Color Ebony, and this one is very, very, very green based. When I rinsed this, it was like straight green coming off of it. And compared to the other ones, I definitely can see a little bit of those greenish undertones. It is black, definitely does not show up green, but I can see when you compare it to the other undertones, you can see this one is a little bit more green. If I was just looking at this swatch on its own, I probably wouldn't pick up on those greenish undertones, but when comparing them to other ones, you can definitely see this one's different. The Underground Blackout actually surprised me quite a bit. It is darker than what I thought it would be, and it did come out a purpley bluish color. I'm sure you guys can see compared to the other shades, this one is the lightest out of the bunch, and I'm sure it wouldn't last as long, but it is still pretty dark, a lot darker than I thought it would be. It looked a little bit lighter in the tub, but there you guys can see it has that purpley undertone. Pulp Riot Noir, this one is a pretty natural black shade. It's black, but it's not like a jet black. I would say it's like in between off black and jet black. It has a little bit more of a natural feel to it. It's really, really pretty. It has no weird undertones. It has a very neutral undertone to it. Very, very pretty. Let me see if I can compare it next to these ones. There you guys go. You can see it's just like a really nice black color. Manic Panic Raven also has some neutral, like warm undertones to it. It's the same as the Pulp Riot one. It's kind of in between off black and jet black. Then we have Manic Panic Blue Panther, and this one is by far my favorite swatch out of any of them. I feel like this one is definitely the prettiest. You can clearly see those bluish undertones, and I think it is such a stunning black color. It is very, very pitch dark. It has those bluish undertones, and when I rinsed it, it barely bled at all, which is also a bonus. So I'm absolutely loving this one. You see if I can show you compared. You guys can see the heavy blue undertones poking through on that one. It definitely leans blue versus black, but it's so dark. It looks black right off the bat. Within a few washes, I'm sure this would just be like blue. Then we have the Splat Midnight Onyx, and out of all the swatches, I think that this one and the Adore ones are the most true pitch black. There's not any weird undertones that I see with any of these ones. They are just like a very, very true pitch black color. Then we have the Jet Black from Splat. This was the either demi-permanent or permanent shade. It's really, really pretty. It is a true black. The hair is very shiny and healthy. We'll see how that one lifts. This one will probably lift the best out of all of them. I do feel like with black color, demi-permanent and permanent lift out of the hair way easier than semi-permanent. It doesn't normally go as cuckoo with the different colors it lifts. This one is typically lifts brassy, or it'll lift right back to a blonde. I do want to show you on my phone because I already know you guys will be able to see the undertones better. So let's go through them one more time. Crazy Color Natural Black. You guys see how green that is? Not cute. Then we have the regular black from Crazy Color. It has a pretty bluish base to it. It's really pretty. Then we have Jet Black and Off Black. Again, you guys can see these ones are pretty much identical, no difference. Then we have the Blue Black. You can see a little bit of that blue undertone, but not much. Then we have Black Velvet, which again, I think looks very, very similar to the first two Adore shades. There's really not any difference between those three. Then we have the Jet Black from Kiss. You guys can see it's kind of like an off black color. It almost has like a brown undertone. Punky Color Ebony, you guys can see that green. Please tell me you guys can see that green undertone in that one. Then we have Underground. Again, it's like a purpley charcoal. Pulp Riot and Raven, you guys see how similar they are? They're more of like an off black color. They're really pretty, but they're not like a true deep black. It's kind of similar to the Kiss one. Blue Panther, you guys, how gorgeous is this shade? It is so beautiful. If you were in the sunlight, I just feel like this would be such an incredible shade. Then we have the Splat Midnight Onyx. Again, very impressed with this one. It looks similar to the Adore ones. And then we have the Jet Black on the end there. So let's go ahead and apply the color remover. I'm gonna go in with the Color Oops first. I'm gonna get it in this middle area here. We should start to see some weird stuff happen pretty quickly. So let's go through. I'm just gonna apply this in the mid shaft here. And I'm gonna try not to overlap the bleach on this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna really saturate this right here. And then I'm gonna go in with the lightener. I just wanna make sure that I get some of the lightener on here without cross-contaminating with that Color Oops. So we're gonna do this first, and then I'll work in that Color Oops. It's very difficult to try two different methods right next to each other without overlapping them on accident. And like I said, oh my god, the smell is insane. I see some smoke happening over here. I don't know what's happening, but I'm seeing some smoke over here in this area. I'm a little concerned. We should start to see some odd stuff other than where is this smoke coming from? I'm not sure where the smoke's coming from, but I am in fact seeing smoke. All right, now with the Color Oops, I'm gonna go upwards. Oh yeah, we see some stuff happening here. It's also very hard to saturate the hair correctly because I can't really feather it apart because then they'll just bleed into each other. I want to make sure to leave enough room at the top there so I can see what the original colors were. This is a very complicated science experiment here. This is another reason why I don't do two different color removers. It makes it a lot more difficult. All right, let's work this matrix in a little bit more. Ooh, I'm already seeing some stuff happen with that first swatch, so that's good. I see purple leaking out here. I see some reddish coming out here. I have literally no predictions for this because semi-permanent black is just so unpredictable. There's really not, I can't predict it. It's just too unpredictable. All right, I'm gonna cover these up and hit them with heat for just a minute to get it warm. I'm gonna let them process for like 30 minutes and I will be right back so we can see what the finished results are and if either of these get any of these shades out of the hair. Okay, we are back. The results are literally all over the place like they were last time. Let me show you what we're working with. All right, so a lot's happening here. It's a beautiful piece of artwork though. I'm digging the vibes we got going on. Let's run through each swatch at a time. This first one, you guys can see Color Oops did lift quite a bit out, but the bleach-based color remover worked the best. But remember, this one wasn't really black to begin with. It was that greenish weird color. Then we have Crazy Color. Color Oops turned it blue, and then the bleach-based color remover did like a mossy green color down here. Oh, on to Adore. I mean, what else would you expect from Adore hair color? This is so typical, and this is the reason why I don't use them, because this is what happens with like every single shade I've ever tried. It goes insane when you try to remove it. So we have neon fluorescent orange with Color Oops. Then we have some red with the color remover and some more sunset orange vibes with the bleach-based color remover. Here's the Kiss Jet Black. It went purple with Color Oops, and then it did lift out pretty well with the bleach-based color remover. It's like a pinkish peach blonde at the ends. The Punky Color is like a greenish gray right here, and then it literally did nothing to the ends here. Underground Cosmetics is definitely my personal winner, although it's not a super dark black color and it does have that purpley undertone. The fact that it comes out this clean with Color Oops, I will definitely be grabbing this one. Even though it's not like a super dark black, I literally don't care. I would rather have an off black purpley hue and be really dark, and for it to be able to come out of the hair like this It's beautiful. I love Underground Cosmetics. Like I said, they are quickly becoming my favorite hair dye brand. With the bleach-based color remover, it did not come out of the hair very well. But for me personally, I would rather use Color Oops any day over a bleach-based color remover because Color Oops is way more gentle on your hair. You could always do Color Oops first to see what happens and then follow up with a bleach-based color remover if you want. But just looking at this spectrum here, seeing what happened with Color Oops versus with the bleach-based color remover, you're getting a lot more happening in general with all the swatches with Color Oops, and the hair is going to be way healthier than it will be if you use something like the bleach-based color remover. So I definitely love this one, and I will use this one on myself in the future. Pope Riot Noir. Color Oops didn't really do much to it, and then the bleach-based color remover, it just went to like a reddish auburn color. Same thing with the Manic Panic. I swear to God, these two are like the exact same formulation. They both lifted out of the hair the exact same. They're both that auburn red at the bottom. Then we have Manic Panic Blue Panther, and holy crap, I was not expecting that, but this whole strand is such a vibe. It's so beautiful. It went neon blue right there in the middle with Color Oops, and then it lifted to like a bluish gray on the ends. Such a pretty strand. Then we have Splat Midnight Onyx, and this one went turquoise with Color Oops, and it did absolutely nothing with the bleach-based color remover on the ends. Then we have the Demi-Permanent or Permanent Black color. You guys can see Color Oops worked way better than the bleach-based color remover did. Look at that difference. Color Oops versus the Color Eraser. I'm going to show you guys on my phone real quick so you guys can really see all the different undertones, especially the bleach-based areas here. See how those lifted out of the hair, but that Underground Cosmetics, see, it's like an off black charcoal purpley gray, but I'll take this over any of the other results any day. If you're blonde and you want to go black for a short time, I do think it would be better to use permanent or demi-permanent because then it will come out with Color Oops and you'll be back to that platinum blonde. If you have roots, like I have roots growing out to here and then I have blonde on my ends, if I were to grab a demi-permanent or permanent black and put it all over and then do a color remover like Color Oops, my ends would go back to being blonde, but my roots would be a really ugly brassy color, and it's really hard to get out of your natural hair color. So it's kind of a catch-22. If you use a semi-permanent black color, it's going to be a lot harder to remove. If you use a demi-permanent color, then you kind of need to bleach your hair first before you put it on if you want it to go back to a blonde. So it's kind of a toss-up there. Obviously, any of these you can use on a brunette hair color to go black, and you don't have to worry about the fading or it turning these weird colors. This is just what happens if you put it over platinum blonde hair, because I am very indecisive. I like jumping from black to pink to blonde, back to copper to blonde. Like, I'm all over the place. So I like to find colors that I know are going to come out of the hair in the least damaging way. So for me, Underground Cosmetics is definitely the winner, and I can't say I'm surprised. I love that company. I love their colors. They're so easy to remove out of the hair. So I will now keep that in my little vault. It's not the perfect solution because it's not super pitch black, but it'll do. It'll do for me. I will leave a link to all the black colors I used in the description down below, as well as the color removers I used in case you guys want to try them for yourself. That is all for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out my Instagram. The link to that is in the description down below. I post way more of my everyday life on there. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.